think that we need to speak about Cristiano's performance today. Another hat-trick, one night against Tottenham, made the difference once again. At least two of those three goals were not easy ones to score. The second and the third one, our performance. In possession of the ball, at times we did well, although even in the first half hour we could have made more out of our advantage in possession, the overload in the central and on the wing. At times we slowed down the game too much, even in those moments. I think we had 4 or 5 moments in situations where even the fans were shouting, shoot, shoot, shoot. We didn't. But not only didn't we shoot, we gave away the ball and invited them to 2 or 3 transitional moments before and after we scored the second goal. And yeah, this was the biggest issue for me today, our defensive, well, I wouldn't say shape, because I don't think it had anything to do with shape. Without Fred and without Scotty, we were fully aware that we would have to play with some players in positions that are not their best possible positions. But still, we should have defended in a smarter way. Not allow them, when you're 2-0 up in your own stadium, to have 2 or 3 transitional moments with playing 3 versus 2 or 4 versus 2. To be honest, we could have scored earlier than we did concede the first goal. We could have conceded a goal earlier than that, and that's why I'm not really happy with our performance when we were not in possession of the ball.
Ralf, you say that, were all the players who played in your team today on the positions they normally play?
Sorry?
You just said that you could expect some sort of defensive sort of fragility because some players were not in their normal position, but they all were, weren't they? The midfielders, the defenders were defenders.
Okay,
that's what
I think, I mean, I told the team that we were playing with a very offensive formation and lineup with Paul Pogba, with Bruno in midfield, and with Jesse. I think this is a very offensive formation and lineup, and that's why I told them it's very important that we play with a defensive mindset. That everybody has to think like a defensive midfielder. But as I said, after we scored with the second goal, we just allowed them too much open space for the transitional moments. And if you look at the 2 goals that we conceded, especially the first one, we had the ball already on the sideline, but we were just not physical enough. So as soon as there is body contact, we have to be more physical, more aggressive. But we weren't, and that's why it was just, for me, too easy. I think we are probably the only team in the league who concedes goals like this. We were all behind the ball in that moment, so it was not a question of tactical discipline. It's a question of how physical do we defend in moments like this.
Mr. Rangnick, does it concern you that these goals are being conceded from attacks down wide areas, essentially going to the positions your fullbacks vacate?
Yeah, but it didn't happen for the first time. I mean, if I just, yes, now you will probably ask me how good are still our chances to finish 4th at the end of the season. But if I just think about the games since I arrived, how many games we have been 1-0 and 2-0 up, and in the end only got a point. This is easily 6-8 points that we should have easily have had more. But this brings us back to the same situation, that we just didn't defend well enough in moments like this. And hadn't it been David De Gea after the 2-2 with a brilliant save, we could have been 3-2 down and then probably even have lost the game. And this should not happen. In all respect to Norwich, I know that there are no easy games in this league, but you have to defend better than we did today, no matter against which team. And even more so if we think about the upcoming next 2 or 3 games.
You're talking about the intensity. Is that just physical intensity or also mental intensity to make sure your players concentrate and don't concede towards the back post?
If you want to defend properly in this league, where no matter which team has their individual weapons on the pitch, you just have to defend. You have to be physical. You shouldn't just allow them to go past ourselves and through our lines as easy as that. And this is just what we have to, what this team doesn't do well enough. And that's why we're mathematically still in the race, yes. And we know that the other results were good, but we should have easily had 8 points more, only in those 5 months since I am here. And again, this has got nothing to do with formation, because this would be the case if we weren't 2-0 up at Aston Villa, 1-0 up against Brighton. And just, I mean, you would come across another 5 or 6 games where Watford at home 0-0. Yes, we didn't concede a goal, but we didn't score. So, yeah. But still, the good thing was that we got the result in the end today. That was important. And now we have to create somehow something that probably nobody will expect. But in football, things like that happen at times. So we have to be up for that game on Tuesday, and we will see.
Ralf, for all it's been a very disappointing season, the fans have constantly remained behind the team and the players. Today is the first time they've openly turned on one of them when Paul went off, and I'm sure you heard the chants because it echoed all around the ground. What's your views about what they did?
I didn't hear it myself, to be honest, but we were talking about it in my staff, in my office, in the locker room. I think the fans here are amazing. I really do. The support in the stadium today was again great. Couldn't have been any better. I can fully understand that the fans are being frustrated and disappointed. So are we. Things have stayed, as far as I know, peaceful all the time. I don't think it makes sense to take on and to target any individual person or players. If so, it's a collective responsibility, or even if you look into the past, for me it doesn't make sense, and this is why I will always defend and protect my players. By the way, I think Paul today in the first half, in possession of the ball, he did well. It was not his best possible position. I rather see him as an 8, but without having any of our defensive 6s available in a game where we needed to win, I had to choose. Do I play Lemar? Do I play him? Do I play an additional 8? We did. We took the risk, and even at the end of the game, in the last 20 minutes, I mean, playing Anthony Elanga as a right back, bringing on Juan Mata, playing with one holding 6 with Nemanja Matic. I think it was difficult to play more offensively with the players that we had available today.
Ralf, just on Ronaldo, that's 2 hat-tricks in 3 Premier League games. People will carry on debating his value to this team. Is there any debate in your mind about whether having him is a positive?
Well, this is in the end not my decision. Cristiano has got another year of contract. This will be a decision for the new manager to take together with the board. But again, he showed both against Tottenham and in today's game that he can be the difference maker in moments like this, in games like this. And I mean, it's no coincidence that he has the best goal-scoring record of all players in history, and he showed that again today.
Okay, last question from Rob, and then we're doing a Mondays.
Just on the race for the top 4, obviously you're closer now than you were at the start today. But it doesn't sound like you think that the team is playing well enough to pick up enough points over the next 6 games to finish the job and get over the line.
Everybody has seen today's game, and we all know against what kind of team we are playing on Tuesday. They won at Manchester City today. They were in the cup final. They might even, in the end, have the chance to win 4 trophies this season. If we play like that, if we play like we play today, it will be very, very difficult to get even a point out of this game. And this is what we have to be realistically aware of. So we need to raise our own level and standard. Probably Fred and Scott will not be back. Rafa will also be a tight race for the game on Tuesday. So far he hasn't trained with the team. So we have to be aware that with the players that we had available today, we will drive to Liverpool and just get anything out of that game. If possible, we need 3 points. That can happen in football. It has happened before. But we have to be realistic. We have to play a lot better if Liverpool is in possession of the ball as we did today.
We move on to the Mondays.
As he approached the tunnel, Pogba cooked his ear to the fans as he approached the tunnel. Would you, and obviously the abuse then intensified, would you prefer him to do something like that in those moments?
Listen, I didn't see it. I heard that. This was probably his reaction to the chants or the chanting of the fans. I would suppose. I don't think that he did that right from the beginning. I don't know. I didn't see it, but yeah. As I said, I think I can understand in a way the fans and our supporters, but I don't think it makes sense to take on individual players.
With Marcus Rashford, he seemed to play reasonably well last week, but he went with a very attacking team this week. He was on the bench. previous games where there have been a lot of players missing in attack. He's been on the bench. What's the situation there? He's had a very difficult season, but it seems like when he should be playing or deserves to play, he's not playing as much.
Well, I don't know. I had to decide between him and Anthony Elanga today, and I think Anthony, not only did he do well when he prepared the first goal, he also played probably for the first time in his career as a right back and did well. The last 20 minutes, the way he defended, he won most of the balls on his side in those 20 minutes. And then Marcus came on in the last 25 minutes into the game. That's how it is, and he has, quite like all the other players, he just has to show up.
In terms of the
David
top
and then
four,
Neil.
Ralph, is it a challenge now for the players to show how much they want it, and do you believe there is a desire because they've now got back into that position where you could possibly do it?
Yeah, of course they will. I mean, of course they also showed today that they were trying to win that game today, but as I said, for me it's a question of being physical enough in those moments, and it was not the first time today. It happened in games earlier on. If I still remember the game at Leeds, where we played at the end with Scotty and with Fred. Yes, this was a battle, and we were up to the standards there at Leeds. Yeah, this has to happen more regularly, and it's quite obvious. Even the reason why the club contacted me in November was the fact that we just conceded too many goals too easily. We reduced the number of goals conceded, but the way that we defend is still not the standard that we need in order to be a top 4 club.
When you haven't been here, you've obviously watched and enjoyed a lot of Premier League football. Is this Liverpool team one of the best you've ever seen?
Yeah, they are good. They are extremely good, and it's no coincidence that they're as good as they are. Jurgen has built that team in the last six and a half years. 6 or 7 of those players used to be our players when we signed them for our clubs when nobody knew them. And again, it's no coincidence that this is probably the club with the highest number of players from our former clubs, because their approach, their style of football, the way that they want to play is pretty similar.
Okay guys, thank you.
Thank you.